Hi, I am Melissa Banco, and welcome to the Banco Buzz, a commercial interior design podcast. As a professional leader in our design industry, we found that there were a lot of questions that were coming to me and to us about business and growth and mentorship and really the people behind the design. So we created the Banco Buzz. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us on the Banco Buzz. Hi, I'm Melissa Banco. Welcome to the Banco Buzz, a commercial interior design podcast on all things design, mentorship, leadership, things that are happening and buzzing in the industry. We are hosting a season of podcast, a podcast season, and we are highlighting each episode on a core value that we have here at our company. So we operate with these core values that help us gauge attributes that folks have to see if they're good team members, if they're good partners. And one of our core values is service. So we're talking today about service. Really excited to have the two of you on. I have been most excited about this episode, and I'm in baggy jeans and a t-shirt, and I'm very comfortable, and I'm very glad that you guys are here with me. And don't tell the others that this is going to be the best episode. Sound like a plan?
Yeah. I hope they don't watch this back and they hear you say that.
So I have with me today Sam and Anna, and we are going to be talking about all things service. So service to us at the firm is not just philanthropic or charity or volunteering. It also has a lot to do with just helping each other and helping navigate through the day. Am I asking my neighbor or my coworker if they need help? And we feel like that's service too, even here at the company. So we wanted to talk to you today because there's a couple different groups that we love jamming with and supporting and helping because we think that their mission is really cool. One of them is E's Club, or Erin's Hope for Friends. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm wearing a t-shirt from one of my favorite groups here in Marietta. So this is ESP. So just doing what we can as a design group, as a work family to just better the world as a whole and support great groups like ESP and E's Club. You can check out Banco's website to see some of the other great groups that we're working with, but we'd love to highlight these two today. So I want to kick us off before we get into a background of the two of you, talking about sort of universal spaces. When you walk into a room, what could we be doing better as designers to help with sensory overload, things like that? Do you ever walk into a building or a space or a classroom or whatever and just go, I cannot concentrate or I cannot be 100% me right now because this or this is annoying me? Does any of that ever happen to either of you? Yes, Anna's shaking her head. Okay. Hit us with and educate us on, and everybody's different, right?
Yeah.
But what are some things that maybe the average person is like, yeah, that's not annoying to me. So walk us through what that is.
Yeah. I think for me, I have a lot of like sensory issues. So things, especially like auditory things, I've noticed a room that's like super echoey, and like if multiple people are talking and now all of a sudden their voices are bouncing off the walls, it's like really amplifying the sound. It makes it really hard for me to focus, stuff like that. So design that might have things in there that kind of dampen that echo, that helps me a lot. Also like bright fluorescent lighting, like schools.
Like this.
Yeah.
Like this right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask why you have it in your lobby.
No.
That was unnecessary.
No. Because there's like natural light in here too. So like that, but like I'm thinking like in schools where there's no other lighting. It's just that.
Yeah.
It's
that
just
those
flickering like bright fluorescent. There's sometimes they buzz. Awful. Can't do it.
Okay. So as designers, we need to be cognizant of fluorescent bright lighting.
Yeah.
Those buzzing noises, auditory dampening, things like that.
Yeah, I think in like a warmer space, warmer lighting, warmer tones. I feel like that makes me a lot more comfortable. I don't know. I can't.
4,000 Kelvin.
I love that you know that, Sam.
Well, I did I don't know why, but I did a report on like growing plants indoors, and for some reason I spent hours researching light bulbs, and so now
Now you know.
Yeah.
You know what's good.
So many people don't have any idea that light bulbs can be different. So I'm very proud of you that you know that. So anything else that you can think of, things that would drive you crazy in a space, or things we could be doing better
I don't know. I actually-
design universally?
So I think I differ a lot in that regard. Like I like small spaces. I went to this house once. It had like shag carpet on the ceilings, and the ceilings were like, if you were 6 feet, you wouldn't be able to live in this house. Like 5'6" is the right height. And it was so nice to walk around in it. Like every room was.
Did
really
you
tiny.
say carpet on the ceiling?
Carpet on the
Yeah,
ceiling.
like I'm always focusing
Sam,
on
that
that.
makes me a little twitchy.
I really liked it.
What did you
Because
just
it's
like
sensory, like you can
you
just.
just walked?
And you only have to. So actually, I think you think 5'8" might be too
Okay.
tall, because I could just like brush up in every room, touch every room.
And you liked that.
I like that,
Carpet
yeah.
on the ceiling. You heard
House
it here
of the
first.
Rock,
It
by
will
the
be
way.
it will be a new design trend
It's
in our
called-
sensory spaces.
That's a good way to dampen the sound. See, that's good for me too.
we are solving problems.
It was
left
really
and right.
cool. Yeah.
Was it
really-
like shag carpet
and-
though? Lawn carpet? Was it brown?
I think it was black. It was red or black. I think it was red.
So that really made the space feel
Yeah,
cozy.
it was very nice. Yeah, and it was like on the walls too in some rooms, and it was just every room. But see, I don't think people are going for that. But I feel like a design in general, like everybody's moving to these big wide open spaces, and I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that, because I agree with you. Why is bigger not better? Why is the wide open
As a person that like cares about like the utility, I see like all this empty space, and I'm like, it's completely unusable space. Like half your building is if you have like really high ceilings, why don't you just have a second floor?
You're very smart.
But but then again, sometimes I do like walking. Like I like having space.
Yeah.
Too.
But you were saying you like intimate space, like smaller spaces. Do you think it's also
Yeah, it depends.
the utilitarian part of it? But is it just like, oh my gosh, like I can't even be comfortable in here. It's big. It's echoey. Maybe we should put carpet on those two floors, and then it would be better.
I think if there's like an open space, there needs to be like a good reason. Like at East Club, we have like a big area of open space because we have members who like to run, and so it gives them the ability to kind of stim in that.
At our old location, we used to have a wall somewhere, and I really liked that area.
Which one in Akron?
Alpharetta.
Oh,
It had a what wall?
It had one little area where the gaming area was, and it was kind of like a wall.
Oh yeah, it was walled off a little
Yeah.
bit, so it was like this cozy little space.
And
there
they
were-
had
they're
bean
bags.
bags.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, bean bags. Beanbags.
Beanbags
in a
all
small
around?
Space, yeah.
So we
See,
should only be specifying beanbags, is what I'm hearing.
No, because if you put beanbags in a big room, it just feels so awkward.
So
Yeah.
small space,
I think
carpet
it's
on the
the-
ceiling, beanbags.
Well, I don't think you should put carpet anywhere unless you can. It shouldn't. If you can't touch it, it shouldn't be there.
Got it. I feel like this is going to be a coffee table book that we publish.
Oh no!
Design.
I thought you meant a coffee table with carpet. That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Even-
Okay. I agree with you. Let's not do that. Everything would be, maybe too much. Less is more. Okay, so Ease Club, there was a little intro to that.
Yeah.
So I'd love to talk more about that, but I want to find out a little bit more about each of you. So Sam, do you want to start? Tell us who you are, maybe where you went to school, what you've been up to, what your day's filled with, because you attended Ease Club and now you're like basically running it, is what I heard.
Well, working there, but I could. I mean, it depends.
I could.
I could.
Becky, he's coming for you.
Oh, yeah.
He's
I
coming
don't
for
think
you.
I could do Becky's job, because Becky's job is really cool.
Well, Becky's magic, so
Yeah, she goes out and advocates for.
Yeah.
she does. Okay, so tell me who you are.
I'm Sam Seidel. I have a full-time job. Oh, sorry. I'll start with the basics.
Okay.
I went to 10th grade, and then I got my GED, and then I went to Chattahoochee Technical College, and then I got a job through East Club. So I was friends with a member there, and their parents knew somebody who had an opening, so I worked there, and now I have a full-time job, working someplace else.
And you're still hanging out at East Club.
Yeah, I'm still hanging out at East Club.
So can I unpack a couple things that
Yeah.
you talked about? So you said you attended public school through?
No, I didn't attend public. I was
Through
all
10th
private.
grade, or no,
Private
private.
through 10th grade.
And then why did you decide to switch and get your GED?
I was kind of putting up with it even in 10th grade. It was really frustrating, so I ran out of what's it called? Like the willpower to put up with. I don't think I can use the words here, but
Was it just frustrating in your current environment?
it was boring. It wasn't. It was
You can say boring.
boring,
Were you bored?
but also really hard.
Yeah.
Because you can't. Things can be like math would be fine, right? Because it's math. Well, that might not sound. The things I didn't like were like language arts and history and stuff where it's just pure memorization.
Okay.
I'm not good at that.
Okay. So we get our GED.
Uh-huh.
Were you afraid that college would be more of the same like private school was, or was college very different experience for you than it was doing private?
So it depends. Like I did software development, but I was already doing software development before I went to school.
Okay.
So I think Minecraft for that. Actually, I started programming when I was 15. So I with college, actually, some of the classes I think it was worth it. It's just some of the classes were also boring. Like I wasn't actually learning anything because I was already in the industry.
Yeah.
Um,
But you took the other classes that were essential,
Yeah,
and
the
those
other
were
ones were essential.
we
There's
all
a
got
humanities
we all got to
one.
get through some of the things that we don't want to.
There's a humanities one that was interesting. There's definitely some things that I still remember, so it was worth it.
So do you like your job now?
I like the job I have now. Yes. So
Okay.
this is my, I don't know, 4th or 5th, 6th job, somewhere in between there. But
Well,
I
it's
finally
good
found a
to
place that
test what we enjoy and what we don't enjoy, right?
I found a place that accepts me as who I am, so it works pretty well.
Can you walk me through that? Why did you? Where does that comment come from? That they're accepting you as you are? Are they? Is there good communication about what you need and what you don't need?
Yeah, I can be
Do
very
you have
direct.
a cool boss?
I have a cool boss.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. I have
Okay.
a cool boss.
Okay. And you're still helping at Ease Club.
Club,
So how
yeah.
often are you there? And can you tell us what you're doing at Ease Club?
So
You're running
it. I basically just hang out with teens and young adults, and it's fun for me and it's fun for them.
So what's the benefit of this club? What you attended, and now you're back and you're helping.
Finding people that are like you, that you can like connect with.
So like you said, it's beneficial for you and for
Yes, it's hard to find people to connect with emotionally, and in other cases, what was it like? Talking about like smart stuff, like
Intellectually.
intellectual.
There you
Yes,
go.
like on the same intellectual. And I mean, not everyone's different, but when you put a bunch of us together, it's a lot easier to find people you connect with.
I will admit that when I go to Ease Club, I am definitely not the smartest person in the room. And when we play games, anything that's like trivia based, like I am floored by the intellect in the room. So I fully support that.
Well,
And
someone
I
was once talking about, it was Seven. She was talking about, I probably shouldn't use it. Well, nobody will know who his or her name is.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
But they were talking about quantum physics and was it dolphins? I don't know. But
Octopi, I think.
Octopi,
I think
yeah,
that's what it was.
octopi. And it was just a great mix of like, wow. It was not something I was expecting to hear.
It's not like standard or typical conversation.
Yeah, Oh, yeah.
It's
right.
always like really crazy, very deep topics that I know nothing about. So I always learn a lot when
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
at Ease Club. So Ease Club was an organization that was started to support autistic teens and adults in helping connect with others that were built like them, built differently from them, but just really creating a community where people could come together. And I love what you said, like you're getting something out of it too. And I think that folks forget that when we volunteer, that, from an unselfish place, you really want to put yourself out there to serve and to help, but you get so much back.
Yeah.
Like you have a good time when you go to Ease Club still. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
And you're learning stuff while you're there about quantum physics.
Well, I'm
and-
learning about skippity riz,
That's so true.
Ohio or not Ohio?
Not Ohio.
So I appreciate you sharing that with me. It sounds like you're up. You're very busy and you're up to a lot of things.
Yeah, I was volunteering.
You bought a plane.
I did.
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
good story for another day. Okay, so thanks for sharing your story.
Thanks.
We're gonna come back to it. So Anna, tell
Hi.
us who you are. Tell us your association with Ease Club, and give us a little background of who you are and what you've been up to, because there's so much I want to talk to you about too.
Yeah. I'm Anna, Anna Matthews. I just graduated Georgia College and State University with a bachelor's in art and a minor in music. So I really love like a lot of the creative stuff. I just completed an internship at the Booth Western Art Museum.
Yes.
I was an education intern, so my job was like helping out kids, taking them through the museum, those who would like come for field trips and that sort of thing. And I would, we had a little program, and I would show them the art, and they would solve a little mystery, and it was a really fun time. So I just finished that just a couple days ago, actually. So
Very cool. Congratulations on
Yeah,
all of that
thank
success.
you.
You're welcome.
And then, of course, East Club. I still work there. I found out about it through, it was my brother. My older brother, he has autism. He joined East Club as a member, I want to say in 2018. And through that, my mother ended up getting a job there. So Miss Becky that we've been talking
Wait,
about.
Miss Becky didn't have a job there before? Wait.
No, I think I want to say my brother was a member first, and then my mom worked there. The more he
Wow.
came there, yeah.
That's
She loved
news
it
to
so
me.
much, she had to work there.
Yeah.
Can you identify with that, Sam?
Yes.
So, and then through there, I ended up getting a job. It was around the time of COVID-19 when that hit. I was volunteering beforehand, so when I was still in high school and my brother was still a member, I would still come and I would volunteer, and I really enjoyed it. And then when COVID hit and we had to go virtual because it just wasn't safe to be in a public space, all those kids. We did a virtual program, and my mom said, "Do you want to start running the virtual program?" And I said, "Absolutely." And so from there, I've just been, involved in that. Now I work as a program assistant, and I help out with the teens and the young adults, and it's so fun. I love it. It's one of the favorite jobs I've ever had.
So you and I met at the opening of Woodstock's Ease Club.
Yes.
So Banco Design actually did some pro bono work and helped Ease Club get that location up and going. I had volunteered at Ackworth, and so Woodstock was coming up, so we were helping get some furniture donated and all of that. My son's on the spectrum, so like I get the vibe.
Oh, yeah.
What needs to work or what can work. So I was really excited to work with Becky on that and Nicole. So we were helping get launched, and I met you at the opening, and
Yes.
you had decorated and painted these amazing tiles that are on the ceiling at East Coast. So we'll have to post some pictures of that. It's really cool what you've done, and you can tell that there's just a lot of passion and heart behind what you're doing. Sometimes we're brought to a passion because something in our journey has taken us there. So having a brother who's autistic and just understanding and not being maybe intimidated by that. I think a lot of folks don't maybe end up helping, volunteering, or getting involved in a charity because sometimes it's a little scary if it's unknown, right? Mm-hmm. We're human, and it's like that's new, and that might be a little scary.
Definitely.
But talk to me about a little birdie told me that in school you were in Sam's laughing at me. A service-based sorority?
Yes.
So tell me more about that, because that is super cool, and I was not Greek in college, and I feel like if I would have had the opportunity to be service-based sorority, like I would have maybe really been into that. So can you tell our listeners about the sorority and what was the goal and the preface, and what are maybe some of the coolest things that you did when you were in that sorority?
Oh my gosh, yes. I was in Gamma Sigma Sigma. It is the our national community service-based sorority. I believe there are other service-based sororities as well. But this one was at Georgia College. It was non-Panhellenic, so it didn't fall under the same umbrella as some of the bigger sororities.
Okay.
But we were still technically part of that Greek life. And our mission was just community service. That was the forefront. We got to do all of the things that a normal sorority did, so I think that was a really fun part about it. Was that we went on retreats, we did bigs and littles, so there was that aspect of it. But there was also, it really was our main requirement was community service. We had to do 20 community service hours every semester.
Okay.
And usually we went above that. Most of our members did. I served on the executive board for 3 years doing different positions. So I was I was a corresponding secretary, and then I was parliamentarian, so I was in charge of the rules and, regulations, and then I was...
Do you try to keep everybody in line?
Yeah, basically. And then I was the membership vice president, so I was in charge of recruitment, and I brought in new members, and it's just a lot of fun. It was really great, a great way for someone like me to meet people who were very similar to me, and had like a passion for community service. I loved it so much, and I will brag about it to anyone and be like, you should join if when I hear people are coming to Georgia College, because it's a co-ed sorority too, so
That's very cool.
Anyone is welcome to join. You just say like, hey,
You have to be in the college, though.
you have to be in the college. But when I hear someone's going to Georgia College, I'm like,
You should do this.
go see their table, go check them out,
Okay, so I have sort of a fun question for both of you. If you were to win $1 million tomorrow, what would you do with it?
Ooh.
Sam's gonna buy
Probably
more
start at some type of organization.
What would you start?
That would take a while to think of, everything. I'd probably be very safe about it. I don't have like the...
Like a business or...
maybe a business, but something that definitely helps the community or people. Maybe both. Maybe one can help people and one can make money and can feed back into the other one.
There you go. There's a smart strategy. Okay. I love that it was service-based out the gate, though.
Yeah.
You wouldn't buy more planes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting story. Do you want me to discuss that?
So you bought it on Craigslist?
Well, there's this website called Barnstormers. It looks like Craigslist, but it's for airplanes. And
Okay.
So I saw one. It was the right price.
Like a real plane,
A real
Sam?
plane. Me and a friend went out, looked at it in California, and we flew it home.
Are you
Yeah,
you
it's-
flew it home?
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a real plane?
I mean, you might not call this a real plane,
Uh-huh.
but it flies.
It's in the air.
It's in the air.
I need to see pictures of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you could buy a couple more planes with your
No,
$1 million.
I'm-
You want it all in the organization.
No, wow. Now you've got me in a hard place there. Anna, what would you do with $1 million?
What would you do with $1 million tomorrow, Anna?
Oh, goodness. I don't know. That's such a...
Is
that's
that
such
a hard one?
It's such a hard question, and and I feel like that's a question I've been asked before too, and I definitely wouldn't keep it. I really don't feel like anyone needs a huge amount of money. There's like celebrities who are buying like a bunch of cars. It's like you just need one car.
Yeah.
I think you can benefit so many other people. Don't like give it back to the community
I love
in
that
some
answer.
way.
That's a good answer.
I don't know exactly how I would give it back. I think I would, put it towards some organizations that I'm specifically like interested in, like maybe organizations that are focused on like climate change and that sort of thing. But
So investing in your passion. maybe
yeah,
A little bit.
absolutely.
So you're both volunteering at Ease Club, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Oh, working there.
Yeah, I'm working.
there. Okay, so let me rescope. Why? You could work at a lot of other places. Why do you work there? Does it feel good?
It doesn't even feel like a job.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing
Only when you...
that Ease Club does? Like, what's the best activities? What's the most fun you've ever had at Ease Club?
There was this dance party once where it was
Oh,
like...
come on.
They had 15 NCL volunteers, not including the parents of the NCL volunteers. And we're all in a circle, dancing. And that was a long time ago, but that was just
So dance party.
the energy.
Sam likes to dance.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like the energy when everyone's vibing together.
Yeah, people bring all together. Absolutely.
All right, so what is your favorite? Dance party too?
I'm not much of a dancer myself, but I do enjoy a good party.
All right, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
No, I want you to tell me though. I cut you off. Not a dance party or what? Do you have one?
Probably our outings. We do
Oh.
with our young adult group. We do outings, so we
Yeah.
we have a bunch lined up here soon. We're gonna go to I think an Atlanta United game. We just went to the Museum for Puppetry Arts, I
Very
believe,
cool.
in Atlanta. Very awesome. So we do a lot of different stuff: zoo, aquarium, that sort of thing, and those are always so fun.
So my next question to you two is, what does friendship mean to you? And is it easy to find?
I don't think friendship is easy to find when you're on the spectrum. And it's also not, it's not easy to find in general, talking to people who are not on the spectrum, but it feels like there's an extra penalty on us.
Why do you think that?
Um,
Is it just maybe trickier?
it's trickier. It's easier when you're younger, for sure, regardless of if you're on the spectrum or not. But as you get older, things get really cliquey, and it's hard to really make friends, you know? So East Club, I didn't really have any friends when I was 18, so East Club gave me those friends. So I got like some long-term friends when I was 18 from East Club.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful. Anna, what do you think friendship is, and is it easy to find?
I think friendship is, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. It's sticking with someone without fear of judgment. I think that's the biggest thing. When it comes to my friends, I think the reason I feel so comfortable around them is because I can say something, I can like tell them about my interests or that sort of thing, and I know that there isn't going to be judgment. And even if they don't understand it, they're not going to judge me. And I think that is an important thing in East Club. It's a very judgment-free zone, you know, and
Awesome.
it gives
It
people.
really is.
Yeah,
Some crazy things get said.
Yeah.
Mickey in the dumpster.
Oh yeah. People will
That's
just
a whole
come.
story in
Oh
itself.
yeah. I mean, I've had members will come up and they'll just rant to you about their special interest. I've been on like the receiving end of like learning about refrigerators and
Who
how
was
they,
that?
That was one of that was one of the Kentucky.
I would love to talk about refrigerators.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Maybe for like an hour.
Oh yeah.
But-
Oh, he would love to talk to you for an hour. But you know, there's no judgment, and I think that's why East Club is a great opportunity for them to be able to make friends, because there is no judgment. You can be yourself, and I think it is kind of hard to find when you're not in the right spaces where that sort of judgment-free zone is there, where you don't know, hey, are these people, you know, how are they critiquing me right now?
Right.
It can be very stressful. I've definitely struggled with that for a majority of my life. So
I think it's finding the good in everybody. Everybody's built so differently. And it's seeing the ability in people and not necessarily the disability that sometimes
yeah.
gets labeled. And I think there is goodness when you do find your people, where it's like, I can be me, 100% me, and I'm not going to get judged. My son, he stims a lot. So we're flapping, we're jumping, we're trying to get that energy out. And it's amazing still to me, you know, some of the looks that we'll get where there's not just an understanding or grace of like, hey, that's just him and he's got to get the
Yeah.
energy out. So we all need a tribe. We all need that group of people that makes us feel safe and good. And what is so great about East Club is that there is that space for anybody to go. I have a blast when I go, and I'm neurotypical
I
for
really
what
say
we know
you-
now.
You don't have to have autism to come. I mean,
yeah.
you should if you're a kid that doesn't fit in, it might be a great place for you to fit in.
So what is one thing, or more than one thing, that you wish people understood, had more clarity on? Bust a myth that maybe has come at you more than once. Something that someone has asked you that's like, oh, you just don't understand. If you wanted to educate somebody on something about you, what would it be?
Yeah, and one of the things about me is my personality can change from day to day, and not like entire. Well, I have like certain personalities, and depending on the mood I'm in, they're not crazy, but like I can be really happy, or I can just be like I just want to sleep or something. I mean, I'm not that. That was an example. But the thing is, it's really tough to get to know someone when your personality can be different on different days, because you don't know which personality they will like, and which, how, it's not so much personality, it's just like energy level for me. It's like
Mood, maybe?
mood, yeah, and like I feel like I can be different, and I feel like it's really difficult to know how to present yourself to somebody new.
Is there anxiety
Lots
or
of anxiety.
Yeah.
like, I guess anxiety is the best word, around, or nervous? Like,
Yeah, like I was seeing someone, like, and every time I went to see them, for the first maybe 10 to 15 times I saw them, it was a lot of nerves.
Okay.
And eventually I feel relaxed now when I'm hanging out with them.
But if you have a day where maybe you're feeling great and like the vibes are good, and then the next day you're not, is there anxiety about being around the same people because they
Yes.
don't understand the swing of that emotion?
Yes, I really think, you know, and sometimes I might say things that make no sense or are crazy, you know, just things come out, and it's tricky because it works really well when you've known someone for a long time because they just know who you are, but when you're starting fresh, it's really difficult.
Okay.
Really, really difficult.
But it sounds like you found people
Yeah.
who find that charming.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna, same question to you. So what is a myth you'd like to bust, or something that you wish that you could educate folks on, or something that maybe is misunderstood about you or the wonderful group that you're volunteering or
Yeah.
working in? Sorry.
Yeah. Very similar. I was kind of thinking very similar to what Sam was kind of saying about like wondering what almost version of myself needs to be put forward to
Yes.
make people like me. It can be tricky. It always felt like growing up, everybody had the same understanding of how to communicate and what was and wasn't okay to say, and I never got that. No one ever taught me. I would get very frustrated because it felt like, well, no one told me this wasn't okay to say. I didn't know that. I was just, and I've had to really learn that over the years. And so I guess when it comes to like especially a neurodivergent community, being able to just say, hey, like, just tell me, if I did something that isn't okay or did something that made someone uncomfortable, because we do that with our members. We just say, hey, that's not okay. Don't say that. And then they usually are really good. They're like, oh, sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I think that understanding has helped me connect with them as well too. Because I'm like, oh, you're very similar to how I'm thinking. Like you just want to joke around or say something. And it's never anything harmful, It's just, they just didn't know. There's just certain, I guess, social cues or slight things that can make someone be like, oh.
Well, like, there's no limit, like, talking about things that you shouldn't talk about.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So
But
just
it's
being
the
able,
communication, right? Of like,
Yeah.
hey, this, and being safe in a space where you can say, hey, we're going to change topics and here's why,
yeah,
right?
just tell me. I'm never offended if someone gives me like criticism and says like, hey, I'm not okay with you saying that, or I'm learning always, all the time. I think we're all learning.
Right, and that's no matter how our brains are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are all autistic adults or teens the same?
No.
Oh gosh, no. They are wildly different.
So that's us all navigating
Yes.
relationships and friendships and getting to know people, right? Like what makes us tick, gives us the icks. I mean, that's across the board. So I think it's just as a general public and a society, it's just being a little bit more open to understand people and like where their emotions are that day and what gives them the icks and what drives them crazy. And it's just asking all the right questions. And I think it's being service minded to come outside of ourselves, like rather than like what works for me in this space right now, rather than, what do you need as somebody who's, sitting with me? So
Yeah.
I think you're doing great work to push that agenda along and create really great friendships at East Club. I have a son on the spectrum. He is now 10. He was diagnosed at 3. And it was hard even in the beginning to find other kids and to help him build a friendship community where he wasn't judged, even at 3.
Yeah.
So we a lot of times weren't being invited to birthday parties or being alienated from playgroups. It's so important that everybody has people. So East Club is amazing. Am I allowed to say badass? A badass organization because there's a good why behind it. There's a great story, heartbreaking, but in the end, a great story. And it's kids at some point too on the spectrum. There's all these services when we're little. And then these amazing humans get to a point where they tap out of the system.
Yeah.
Like the system's like, okay, great. Like you're to a certain age, even with insurance. It's like, okay, we're going to support you, through this age. It's like, well, who decided that age was when we didn't need help anymore? Mm-hmm. So the fact that groups like ESP and Ease Club and some of these other amazing organizations understand that we are an adult a lot longer than we are a kid. and fully realizing that we need community. All of us do, but I think tenfold when you feel like you're a little different and you feel like it's harder to find your people. So I got involved with Ease Club because it, truly spoke to my heart, to be able to also hang out with some really amazing teens and adults who honestly I would rather hang out with than some of my neurotypical friends.
Yeah.
So I think the passion behind it, the mission behind it is just amazing. And what's really cool too as a parent with a kiddo on the spectrum is I get a look ahead of what my guy might be like. And that's just really cool to be able to have a window to that. And hear really great stories from other individuals on the spectrum who are just crushing it and thriving and succeeding. 80% of the autistic community from 18 up right now have never or will never work. Like, that's not okay, that we're not doing more to just support that community, because wicked smart, wicked funny, so much fun to hang out with. So that's why I am passionate about it. And we had a lot of folks who helped us through our journey and were really servant-minded to us. And so it's really important for our family, our business, all of that to be able to give back. So that's the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one more question. What's your superpower? What are you better at than nobody else? What's your superpower? Do you have a superpower?
Ooh.
Flying planes?
Fixing things.
Fixing things.
He is our resident fixer-upper.
I fix cars, planes, washing
Trains,
machines,
auto.
air conditioners.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or the PlayStation at East Club will be like,
Wow.
Sam, it's not working. Go fix it.
Usually that's unplugging and plugging it back in.
Yeah. Well, you do it better than I would.
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't know that technology doesn't like me. I've done everything.
That sounds like me. I'd call Sam. Okay, so Sam's fixing all
Yeah.
the things.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm really good at
Painting.
painting. That's
I love that he answered for you.
Thank you. I was not going to say
Caring.
painting.
You're really good at caring.
I don't even want to answer. I'm just,
Sweet.
if
Okay,
he
I'm
says
crying
that, if he says that, then you know what?
I'm sorry, I stole your thunder, but you really should pick one.
I was gonna say remembering a lot of things. I think I have a really good memory. So a kid will come in that hasn't been there in months, and I'll be like, oh hey, and I'll remember their name and everything about them. And I think it's good to have that too. And
That's a pretty cool superpower, because do you know that probably makes that individual feel so special and
Oh, yeah.
seen and heard? So that is a really cool superpower.
oh yeah,
Yeah, when I walk into a store and they recognize me, I haven't been there in a year, I'm like, what?
yeah. No, it's
He's
good
here to get some stuff to fix stuff. Here he is again.
Yeah, it's good
I'm
to
not-
be remembered. I was one of those quiet kids in like high school and stuff, and I feel like I wasn't remembered a lot. So I was like, it's important to recognize someone, and even if it's a little thing, so it just
Totally agree.
matters.
Totally agree.
By the way, before I forget, I wanted to add the things you talked about your kid being disinvited to parties. That happened to me. I don't really remember it, but my mom tells me about it, like how it was really heartbreaking for her to.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
I really
really,
relate
I
to
think
that.
anytime that a family's going through something, or especially if your kiddos like live in it, like it's a family thing,
Yeah.
and it's you don't want to make it about you, but your heart just breaks. Her heart was breaking for you, because it was like, why? He's beautiful and wonderful and smart and all those things, and it's just hard to see your kid not accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad that she shared it with you, though. Does it give you insight on how hard she fought for you? Do you love your mom?
I do love my mom.
I hope you.
It's just weird to hear you say essentially a bit not the same stuff, but the same feelings.
I think
Yeah.
that it's our responsibility as parents and as autistic families to use our voice and do the things so that a mom, later down the road isn't saying that.
Yeah.
I think on some level it's changing. Cooper has classmates. And they will say he's autistic. He's just doing that because he's doing his thing. So it's just making it not weird, like he
Normal,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. And that it's not a dirty word or saying that.
I was diagnosed as a child.
You were not diagnosed?
Yeah. So I didn't know when I need. Well, So I feel like that can really help. It's just, or you don't even have to have an official diagnosis, but just having the
Yeah, because and that's the interesting thing is that my brother was diagnosed and I never was, and I still don't know quite what it is. But there's neurodivergence within me, and
Well, you said you're aware of like the sensory.
yeah, I have social issues, sensory issues, a lot of that sort of thing, and so it's very different when you're not diagnosed, because then they're like, why is this happening with my kid?
I was always the worst behaving.
Yeah, I was always doing something wrong because it was that sounds
You weren't
like
doing
And so
it
now it
wrong. You were
makes
just
sense.
doing it your way.
I was just doing it my way. I was like, what's wrong with doing it this way? And yeah.
It makes a lot of sense, is what the diagnosis tells you. It gives you it gives me a sense as to why I was the way I was.
Yeah. It's a very, very helpful thing. I
Well,
think.
and so that there's a path forward, right? So it's like understanding what the symptoms. I hate that because it sounds like it's a disease or something. But
Yeah.
just like what the triggers
Yeah,
are
that's
to be able to navigate around that. So we all have things, but with Coop, it's just heightened,
Yeah.
So it's just understanding him, trying to understand, and everybody changes. He's very different now than he was when he was 3. I'm sure he'll change again, as he grows up and he's a teenager and he's an adult. So it's just being supportive to him and being able to provide the resources to him to understand himself the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think communities are super important for that because it helps you. I think I learned a lot about myself because I was around people who were like me, and I think that's super important. So
Did you all play sports growing up? Or were you into
Unfortunately.
like music? Like, did you do things with your school, or did you feel
I
like
did do things with my school, but not like past like sports was like up until like 9 or 8 or 9, 10. I don't know. I don't really remember.
Because that's something with Coop that's been a little challenging. It's just, he wants to run, he wants to play soccer, he wants to do these things, but finding a group that allows him to be him, So I think we've got some work in the community to do there, too.
Well, for me, I don't like sitting still, so I don't think I don't know if I, would have liked to have been in sports in my teen years.
Yeah. That
It would have
makes
been
sense.
good to meet people, but...
yeah, I think finding a group that it can be tricky. I didn't like sports. I wanted to do every sport, and I tried like tennis and soccer and.
I wish they'd bring back like fun, like sports, but with not an emphasis on winning.
Yeah. Once I was doing soccer for a while, and then I got to a certain age, and everyone was like,
Really competitive.
yeah, it's like they all locked in. They're like, we're doing this now, and I'm like,
all these like. You can keep going.
oh no, that's it.
Yeah, it's just people are like spending lots of money on their kids to like perform and compete, but you're winning a competition, but it doesn't really. I mean,
You're just like, I want to go out and have fun.
it doesn't
Yeah.
really. And it doesn't really. I don't think that helps you in life. That just. At its worst, it turns you into somebody who's a winner,
Yeah.
and not somebody who can be a team leader or like concede when they need to concede.
Understood. So East Club is amazing. It's providing this wonderful space for teens and adults on the spectrum to hang out. We've got video games, we've got planned activities, we've got outings. There's just a really great opportunity to connect and build lifelong friendships. If someone wanted to volunteer, if somebody says, I know someone who would be a great member, what would that person do if they wanted to get connected to East Club?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website is I don't know it off the top of my
It's
head.
okay, because we can link it.
It was .org, then .net. It changed, but Erin's Hope for Friends has always been
And
the
if you
same,
if you do type it in, I've done
You
that
can
quick.
find it.
You can find Erin's Hope for Friends.
Yes.
We do have our location in Woodstock.
We have a location in Woodstock, and we have a location in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes.
We also do virtual programming for teens and young adults. The young adults will play party games, and the teens, Jackbox games. We love those there. And the teens usually do a variety of different activities like Minecraft and Roblox and that sort of thing. If anybody is interested in volunteering, you can also reach out to us. Our contact information is on our website. We welcome anyone who is different and they're looking to connect.
With all other beautifully different people.
Yeah.
Is good? Okay. Anna and Sam, Thank you so much. Are you throwing sensory ball?
Maybe a little bit. These are so fun.
Thank you for coming and hanging out with me today and just informing our listeners, talking through volunteering and service with me today. It was so fun to hang out with you guys. Can I come to Ease Club and hang out sometime soon?
All the time. Anytime you want to.
Amazing.
As long as your background check comes back good.
I already have an Sam. What are you trying to say? It's on file. Ask Miss Becky.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys very much for coming and hanging out today. That's the Banco Buzz.